Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you guys have had a great weekend, and we have some amazing news over the weekend that I would like to share with you. And it's about Activision Blizzard because we all know that they don't steal baby milk. They're not agile sexist, and they haven't been being sued for indecent things that here and there. It's quite a great thing that we're Blizzard. But let's get right into the news and the actual article at hand. On Wowhead, normally don't go here, and I normally don't play WoW anymore after their ludicrously BS stuff that they keep on giving. King's Diversity Space Tool, a leap forward for inclusion in gaming. Activision Blizzard has released a blog detailing their Diversity Space Tool, a new system for character design developed by King and the MIT Game Lab, which translates elements of diversity into character attributes. Oh boy. Don't we just love this? This just looks great. Working alongside DE and I experts, the Diversity Space Tool is a measurement device used to help identify how diverse a set character traits are, and in turn, how diverse an entire cast of characters are, with the intent of helping identify opportunities for more diverse character narratives and to ensure that developers aren't creating characters that are diverse in appearance only. I think you guys are doing that already. Yeah, I think you guys are doing that already. Besides, you're not going to reading this article. You're going to see that they're lunatics. Described as a tangible way of avoiding tokenism, stereotypes, and exclusion, the system has already been tested by development teams working on Call of Duty Vanguard and Overwatch 2, which are failing, by the way. At least Overwatch 2 is. It's not doing so hot. With plans to release internally across all Activision Blizzard studios and potentially the rest of the video games industry later this year. With this innovative system, the character design process has a tangible way of avoiding tokenism, stereotypes, and exclusion. We want to see ourselves represented in games, we want the barriers to access lowered, and we want games to be a welcoming environment for all. Just look at the 2019 International Game Developers Association (IGDA) Developer Satisfaction Survey, which asks developers what they consider to be the most important factor in the growth of the gaming industry. The most common response: more diversity in content is not even a question anymore. Listen. At the end of the day, it's all about making a character just so happens to be black, so happens to be trans, so happens to be gay, etc., 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 right? So happens to be this. And that's what's important. Whether the character is well written, whether the character is liked, whether the character, what the character portrays to the story and the actual game in itself, that's what matters. It's your vision, right? You don't need to force race or anything into it. You just make the character that is that. That's it. It doesn't matter whether he's black or Asian or whatever. Just make a character that is just a character. It's not there for race purposes. However, the question that does remain is this: how do we convert this feedback from collective desire into tangible reality? As expected, the people at King are already thinking a few moves ahead. In 2016, King began developing a method for guarding against unconscious bias and exclusion when it came to the creation of their games and characters at the time. Game and characters. At the time, this idea existed as an intangible philosophy, but the potential was obvious. They have this here. So they have like Anna, socioeconomic background, down culture all the way up, race all the way up, age all the way up, physical capability over here, and gender identity, and all this. This is just insane. I do not see how this is remotely even good. We could even have stuff here with all these things kind of pigging all that, and then they have this here. What? So it's actively doing racism. It's actively doing racism because, as it says here, how the diversity space trope breaks down character attributes, and then you have this is just ridiculous. Why is this here? This is so inherently racist in a sense. Enter the MIT Game Lab alongside King. The MIT techs helped turn a mission statement into a tangible software that would create and monitor guidelines for character conception and creation, looking to all the ways basic elements such as gender, body type, roles, heroes versus villains, and even such granular factors such as pose or body movement can suggest powerful things about a character one way or another. So pretty much what you're saying is that a specific race has this specific type of things or whatever about them. No, okay, maybe like in certain maybe body ratios, maybe, but it does not mean that is the case for that specific race. All right. Oh my god. According to King Globalization Project manager Jacqueline Camatas, once MIT handed over the basic software, the team at King spent the last few years honing and developing it, mostly as a volunteer effort. People were spending their off hours working on the tool simply because they believed in its potential so much. An important principle for us at King is that all players should feel welcome, says Camatas. The intention is to inspire game teams not just at King, but throughout the Activision Blizzard King network, to think outside the box and challenge preconceived notions and around how characters should look and act. As a result, hopefully we'll create more characters that break the mold and better represent women, non-binaries, and other underrepresented minorities in the industry. Oh my god. It doesn't matter, dude. Just make a character that is. Not being forced to be that just because you want the character to be like that. My god. The idea of a tool to make characters more diverse and inclusive may seem a little hard to wrap your head around. In practice, it has to be more than just, say, a pop-up reminder that between 2017 and 2021, nearly 80% of the highest-selling games in the world feature white male protagonists, according to a study conducted by Diamond Lobby. It needs to become a part of the incubation process from the start, baked into the pipeline as an unmissable and consistent step, which is exactly what this tool was designed to be. So who cares if it's mostly white male protagonists? Who cares? Make a character that happens to be a female or happens to be whatever. Just because it's 80% doesn't mean that there's sexism at all, or racism for that matter. Just make a good character. The diversity space tool is a measurement device to help identify how diverse a set of character traits are, and in turn, how diverse that character and cast are when compared to the norm, explains Kunkamis. Once it establishes a baseline for typical character traits, which is done by the creative team working closely with DE&I experts, it can then weigh new character designs against it to measure their diversity. During this process, the tool can also uncover unconscious bias, such as why certain traits are seen as male versus female, or why characters from certain ethnic backgrounds are given similar personalities or behaviors. In this effort, the diversity space tool can clearly delineate between token characters and true representation. The tool identifies what stereotypical characters in a different game genre looks like, which are not always the most conducive or representative of diversity, says Kutamas. Again, make a character that he's just this. It doesn't matter, dude. I can't help but repeat this. They're actively just acting like they're racist. I mean, sorry, racist and sexist for that matter. I can't believe this is what's happening here. It helps identify those stereotypes while also helping creatives look closer at their design so they can dissect their own assumptions and presets. It also helps identify opportunities for more diverse character narratives to ensure that we are not only creating diverse characters in appearance alone. By starting at the character conception stage, the tool allows King and others to ask these important questions at the earliest possible moment, to promote more thoughtful creative choices from the ground up, which in turn leads to games that are more representative of their player base. What? Nobody cares if it's representative of their player base or not, honestly. They just want a character that's good. It doesn't matter. Over the past few months, King has let developer teams at Activision and Blizzard beta test the diversity space tool, and the results have been immediate and enthusiastic. Alana Cole, DI and manager at the Sledgehammer Games, says the tool was tested by developer teams working on Call of Duty Vanguard and it left a sizable impression. We use the diversity space tool to figure out what more diversity looks like across all our characters in both campaign, multiplayer, and live sessions, says Cole. And now we're going to use that data going forward into the next games that we're working on. The Overwatch 2 team at Blizzard has also had a chance to experience with the tool with equally enthusiastic first impressions. To them. To them. Not to the actual general populace, which you're missing the whole part of it. The plan is to release the tool internally across Activision Blizzard starting this summer and into quarter 3 with an eye towards what Kotomas calls the ultimate goal, making the tool available to the industry as a whole. We strongly believe in the tool's potential to change the gaming landscape, says Kotomas. It's not going to change it, as we can. There's also apparently a lot of backlash to this. While the diversity space tool was designed for use in game character consumption, Kotomas also sees it as having broader application across all entertainment and media platforms. The traits and measures are applicable to wider entertainment verticals, including TV, film, and literature. The only change required if using these verticals would be the baseline traits, which would need to be calibrated to be relevant to the genre and the universe each character exists in. Kotomas admits that the application is still evolving, and in fact is designed to continuously evolve as norms shift and platforms change. In the end, you get out of it what you put into it, and what you choose to take from it. Like anything, this is simply a tool that provides insights, says Kotomas. It's up to the teams that create the characters and the games to apply to them. There is, I don't even know if there's comments, but yeah, this is essentially it. I find this incredibly just racist in a source. I cannot believe this is what's happening. I mean, I guess I can, because Blizzard has always been a very woke and very far left leaning type of company. They are in California, so it makes sense. But again, it's insane that this is happening. I don't like this at all, and this is not going to help them. This is not going to help them at all. Any stretch of the imagine. To this here, to where there is definitely backlash to this, and they had to make a thing about it to where there was so much backlash they actually had to make a statement for it, and we'll go over this statement real quick. It says, following community backlash regarding the diversity space tool revealed earlier today, Activision Blizzard has issued a follow-up statement and edited their blog post to clarify that the tool is not currently being used in active game development and has only been tested internally. We recently, they said on Twitter, we recently shared a blog post that raised questions about how we approach diversity in our games. While the prototype tool has been tested internally, it is not in active use. Our dev teams have always and will continue to strive in game content. We have updated the post to clarify the purpose of this tool, which is one small component of our broader D&I efforts and is not intended to be a replacement for diverse perspectives. We regret any offense that the original post may have caused. Yeah, because nobody is actually racist and nobody likes this. What is your problem, Blizzard? My God. Somewhat predictably, the original post was met by a great deal of decision and accusation from a public audience already skeptical due to Activision Blizzard's recent line of controversies. Fans and industry professionals alike commented that the concept felt performative at best and at worst further promoted tokenization, which complaints backed by example images which appeared to reduce elements of diversity shown to simpler numbers. Seemingly arbitrarily considered one character more cultural or intellectually oriented than another. Yeah. Like I said, not like it's not sexism or sexism or racism or anything. While some of this could be attributed to the poor explanation of the system, which vaguely hinted at aggravating the scores of a group of characters, in this case, Overwatch, to determine which characters and traits fell outside of the average, established by the rest of the cast. The images in particular raised several questions and not clearly conveyed in the post. The updated blog post now contains a note from the editor reiterating the points expressed in the ATI tweet that the tool is meant to help identify trends and areas of bias. It is not being used by any active game development teams. A few sections were also removed, though, specifically the Call of Duty, Vanguard, and Overwatch 2 example images, along with statements that both development teams had tested the tool internally with enthusiastic first impressions. Likewise, a note that the tool would be released internally across Activision Blizzard this summer, as well as the intent to make the tool available to the greater video games industry, has been deleted. The original post can still be filled in full. Yep. Well, they deleted it. Yeah, well, it just goes to show you that there are lunatics, and they're actual racist and sexist, so their true colors are coming to light. Yeah, I don't know what to say, guys. Blizzard taking the L again. I don't think their next expansion is going to do well, but we'll wait. But we'll have to wait and see for that. All right, guys. Like, subscribe, share, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.